Good morning. Um, Morning. Am I audible? Hello. Good morning, Vaibhav.
Good morning, sir. Akshita this side,
Yes, yes.
your host for today.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
so your voice is audible, sir. So I'll just intro about the today's section and about
Yes.
you as well.
Sure,
So,
sure.
yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah. Good morning and a warm welcome to you all. Myself, Akshita, your host for today. Today's topic will be current emerging threats in cyber world and data privacy, which shall be taken by Mr. Dominic Fernandez. He shall be covering the subtopics such as current global threat scenarios, widely encountered scam and fraud schemes, major incidents of data loss and breaches, precautions to protect your information and infrastructure, followed up by the question and answer section.
Thank you, Akshata.
Our,
Yeah, sorry.
our agenda for today is virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessings of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of a speaker, presentation by Mr. Dominic Fernandez, followed up with the question and answer section, and last, the closing section. Sadgun Sang. Sadgun Sang is conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sang is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professional on possible solutions to current issues of industries and economy. Speaking about Dr. Sundar Kataria. Dr. Sundar Kataria is a chairman and the managing director of International Certification Services Private Limited. Speaking about his academic qualification, he is a mechanical engineer from AMIE, only the from business management. Speaking about his experience, he has done nuclear RATP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawat Bhatta, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and gas (EIL). He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay High since its inception. DNV. He was head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS. He is the founder of first India's confirmatory assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of a total quality solution under single umbrella with wide spectrum of services. About his achievements and award, Lifetime Achievement Award of NACE called GON, received several national and international awards. Now I request Dr. Sundar Kataria to virtually inaugurate the section.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. introduction of the keynote speaker. Speaking about Mr. Dominic Fernandez, his designation is Technical Director at Eventus Texol Private Limited. Speaking about his academic qualification, he has done Masters in IT, Diploma in Electronic Engineering. Its areas of specialization and experiences are critical IT security services provided to the leading banks, NBFCs, government authorities, and manufacturing sector entities. I welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir.
Akshay. Thank you. Let
Thank
me
you,
start presenting my screen.
Sure, sir.
And is my screen visible? Hello.
Hello, yes, sir.
My screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Kataria sir, for giving me an opportunity to, have this discussion. I'm privileged to be a part of this group, and I hope that whatever I share, I'm sure that collectively, all of us, attending the seminar, we can help each other grow further. My request is that towards the end of this session, we will have a brief question and answer session. And actually, I have a hard stop at 12:30 because I have another appointment at 12:45. So I'll try to give you as much information as possible. And I'm sure that many of you are from the from the IT industry, and I'm sure whether even if you are not from the IT industry, IT is what do you say? Information technology is all prevalent. It's ubiquitous. So it is there everywhere. But even if you're in the pharmaceutical or you're in the R&D or you're in the multimedia industry, you are using information technology. There's no way you can avoid using information technology. Even if you're spiritual and a person who meditates full day, you still will be having IT. So,
sir, sorry for the interruption.
yeah.
Sir, I just request you to do the full screening of that, so it will be visible to everyone in the clear page.
Yes. So let me. Okay. Yeah. Is it now better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good enough.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this is what I would like to start with. So this agenda, the basic agenda of this seminar that I'm starting is we are going to discuss cybersecurity trends. What are the latest threats? When we said cybersecurity threats or trends, it's the latest threats that we are facing these days. In terms of frauds and scam. See, this is a continuous and running battle between the criminals and the authorities. They innovate. They have to keep innovating, because if the authorities or the law enforcement agencies were 100% successful, we would not have had cyber criminals today. The mere fact that we have cyber crime, we have cyber scams and frauds happening, is that to give them credit is that they are among the most innovative and adaptable entities. because they have survived. We've had cyber policing for the last 20 years. At least we can say 10 to 15 years. I've been having a cyber, cyber crime was there, and we have had measures in place and laws. We had the IT Act 2000. So we had the law, and we are always, our technology has already been, always been evolving. So yes, it is a continuous battle, and the law enforcement and you and me have to somehow keep ahead of. It's a race. It's a continuous battle. We have to keep either ahead of them, and there is one important fact to know. People say someone's phone has got hacked, someone's laptop server machine has got hacked. Okay. Um, Let me tell you one thing, that the fact is that before a criminal hacks your phone, always remember this, before a criminal hacks your phone or your machine, he has hacked your mind. He first hacks the person, the human being is first hacked. How? This is via social engineering. And that social engineering, I think, is another topic by itself. It calls for another discussion by itself, because I will give you cases and instances in the coming slides where you will be shocked as to how could a person of this stature in society, yes, businessmen, high-ranking businessmen, very you can call them like captains of industry, that they have been they have been victims of cyber fraud. So let's start with the basic, the fundamentals. When we talk of information security, uh, and we plan about information security, and we want to put in place measures to safeguard our data, we need to think of three pillars, the three pillars of cybersecurity. The three pillars of cybersecurity are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, me just stating these points and displaying this slide, you may or may not remember this going forward. But if I give you an example, and the most common example and the most relevant examples, these will you will be able to recollect them, and they will resonate with you. Everybody, all of us have our bank accounts, okay, and we have multiple bank accounts, and we have some of us have overseas bank accounts, which we do not want anybody to know about. Okay, so I'm sure that you would not like any of us over here would not like that the number of your bank accounts and the amount of your and the balances in those bank accounts, that they should at any time be leaked to the public or in public domain. Of course, there are government authorities who need to know, other authorities, tax authorities who need to know, and you're very happy to share it. You file an income tax returns, and those are through proper channels. You are sharing your information, which is well and fine, and it is appropriate. So if someone, we hear of cases where this bank or that bank, the data has been breached, credit card information, other information, customer information has been breached and into the public domain, and this can be misused. Okay. Integrity is the second very important pillar. When I say integrity, again, nothing sounds so nice like money. Money is always can be given, used as a good example. Again, you go to a bank account regarding your bank balance, and you would really not appreciate it if, because of some corruption in data, that your bank balance of rupees 10 lakhs has been reduced to 10,000. Yeah. Or someone has messed around with records. You trust the bank. You trust the bank's systems. That when you have not touched your money, you have kept your money, whether it is in FD or whether it is in cash, it should remain as it is. It's called the integrity of data. The integrity of the data means the data should never change, unless any changes to the data should only be via authorized transactions. Yeah. The third important pillar of the security triad is availability. Availability is this concept is so critical. Um, if it is bank facilities, yes, you expect that when you want to withdraw money or do a transfer, either online using a mobile or withdraw cash from your ATM, uh, that service should be available. Imagine your annoyance, imagine the irritation that you face when you go to the ATM, you need money and you find that the ATM is down for whatever reason. Or imagine what would be the inconvenience if so many of our online services that we avail of, whether it is Amazon, buying something on Amazon or any other groceries, or watching Netflix, for example, and it's not available for some time. And just think of what these people are putting in place, the measures, the security measures to be available 24/7, because they have realized, for example, Amazon or any of these, that even a 5-minute downtime, it would cost them millions in loss of business. We move on to scams and frauds. So over here, basically, I much as these scammers and these fraudsters have caused so much of anguish and loss and disruption. Again, one has to appreciate the effort that they take to understand human nature and manipulate human nature. So they say that these emotions of human beings are governed by three basic emotions: greed, fear, and guilt. Greed, fear, and guilt. So that offer of a free holiday, you have won a car, you have won a mobile, in a lottery draw, and please, provide us with your further details so that we can send the dispatch the mobile to your place, your address, your Aadhaar, PAN, and maybe your bank account. If something is to be credited, your bank account. Let's see some. So as we proceed further, as we go along to this presentation, you will realize how people's fear. We are always afraid of something. We have some kind of guilt at times. Maybe it is misplaced guilt or whatever. And there is the basic human nature of greed, of wanting more or wanting something for free. So all of these things are exploited, by a scammer. Now, when we talk of trends, sorry, let me see if I missed anything in the slide. Okay, this is fine. This year, I think everyone over here has heard of artificial intelligence, and we have been using artificial intelligence without knowing it. We have been hearing of artificial intelligence last 5 years, and many of our leading scientists, global scientists, have warned us to be very careful of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence and robotics. But now in the cyber security, cyberspace, artificial intelligence is attacks are going to increase. In fact, they are driven now, and is going to basically go in a direction where it is artificial intelligence versus artificial intelligence, which means cybersecurity professionals will be using AI and AI-driven tools, and cyber criminals will also be using AI and AI-driven tools. So it is going to be, a never-ending story, and that's how it's going to continue. Now, supply chain vulnerabilities. I'm not sure if you all have heard of this, but uh, there was this thing known as the SolarWinds attack. This is a very, I can provide further details. This is a very um, infamous and very famous attack. I mean, it was widely publicized in the US and global. So there's a security tool, SolarWinds, which many companies use to as part of their IT infrastructure, keeping an eye on their IT infrastructure, monitoring the IT infrastructure, and and I think it was Russian hackers who were behind this attack. They ensured what they did is they infiltrated the update server, which would send updates to downstream companies that had their product installed, and this led to a phenomenal attack. I think it was a few billions of dollars. I mean, if I recollect correctly, this was a highly disruptive attack. So this comes under the category of supply chain vulnerabilities. Exploitation of IoT and 5G networks. Our mobile networks are now already on 5G. The nature of 5G makes it that it's supposed to be like 24/7 available, and it is supposed to be very widespread. And there are a bit of vulnerabilities. Again, it is beyond the scope of this discussion. But what happens is when 5G is so prevalent and widespread, your attack surface becomes much more bigger. Okay, now when we talk of IoT or Internet of Things, this is basically, control systems. It can be industrial control systems. It can be, home automation control systems. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of Alexa, and some of you even have Alexa. And how many of us know that, what is stored, what of our conversations is stored in Alexa, and when is it stored? So there was a belief that Alexa, when you say the word Alexa, and then you give your command, so it executes the command. All right. You want Alexa to play a song or order for some grocery, that's fine. But very few people knew that Alexa is actually listening to you 24/7. I'm not sure if all of us knew that Alexa is actually listening to everything that is happening 24/7. So the story behind this is that there was a murder case in Miami, Florida, in the US. Now, there were a few clues that the investigators were looking for, and they could not find, they couldn't put things together, because when you need your evidence, you need some evidence to put together the case and build a case against the culprit. So, to cut a long story short, they realized, one of the researchers, that Alexa actually, when they were going through the technical details of Alexa, they realized that Alexa records everything, and they had to get a court order. They got a court order and got Amazon to share the logs of those 2 or 3 days that they wanted, and they, Amazon admitted in court that everything that you say or everything that happens in the room is logged, and it is stored for a period of 30 days. It is stored for a period of 30 days. So with those logs, they were able to make the case, and they were able to make the conviction. So this is in IoT, there are something known as SCADA controls, industrial controls. In 2015, there was the entire power grid of a section of a region, of the western region in Ukraine, was paralyzed. It was shut down by Russian hackers as part of the cyber warfare. Now, again, even cyber warfare and cyber attack is a very interesting subject, and we can have another session on that. But uh, for a day or 24 hours almost, these people were grappling with the after effects and restoring power supply. So again, the trends in 25 and using AI, bad actors, enemy nations will be using a lot of cyber attacks on on India's infrastructure and banking and financial systems. So criminals are leveraging and using AI, and they are really able to do sophisticated phishing attacks, which we will further learn about. On to the next slide. Okay. So again, these are some important facts about artificial intelligence. So I think many of us must have heard of the fact that data is the new oil. Data is the new oil. Earlier, those who had oil were and knew how to use oil and sell oil. I mean, you just had to sell oil, and you had your money. So this generation is about data and large amounts of data, and telling a story using data, or finding trends, finding patterns in data. What are those trends? What are those patterns? These are used by companies to position their products, to target markets, to understand consumer behavior. Now, over 300 billion emails are being sent every day. Can you imagine that the scale of data? And of course, data has a half-life. It loses its value. For example, I starting in 2000, in the year 2000, now it is 2025. I started, as part of my duties, as part of my job, I had to learn new technology. Actually, I will not say starting 2000. It was starting from 95 onwards. Yeah, 95, 96. So my very first certification was Certified Novel Netware, CNE. I was CNE, and then I did Microsoft Windows NT. Now that knowledge, okay, like the fundamentals are okay in terms of IT, but the use of Novel Netware, I don't think anybody over here has heard of Novel Netware. So Novel Netware was the first networking software that we came across. We used ARCnet and Ethernet. Ethernet is still there, but ARCnet is phased out. And there was also ThickNet. So that information, those skills, the specific information related to that technology is of no use. So that's what we try to say, is that data loses its value after some time. Some other interesting fact is that data doubles every 2 years. I'm not sure if we knew. So it's called data exclusion, and all of us are creating data. All of us are data subjects. In fact, the government started with the European Union and the state of California in the US, where they had to bring out laws to protect personal data, personal digital data. So in India, we had Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP Act, passed in 2023, and it will now be enforced, with specific mandates published anytime as I speak. Another fact also is that 80% of the data that exists, global data is unstructured. Yeah. So a big opportunity is anyone who can basically structure this data and make sense of this data. So frauds and scams we just spoke of, basically it's a range of dishonest behaviors, and where people, scammers and fraudsters use, exploit weaknesses in human nature. Uh, they exploit weaknesses in and vulnerabilities in our systems. Uh, I think all of us have heard about vulnerability, system vulnerabilities, where we say our operating system has to be patched, routers and switches, all of these have to be updated and patched. You will be actually surprised to know that there are sites on the internet, there are services which can give you the list of firewalls, firewalls which are facing the public, which have their default factory passwords still there. The default administrator passwords are still not changed. This is one of the most simplest vulnerability that has been exploited so far, which allows you to get access. So in terms of these frauds and scams, the most prevalent is the credit card and banking fraud. So we have an example where a scammer uses credit card, stolen information regarding a credit card. At times maybe you have given your credit card to someone, and the information has just been skimmed. It's called skimming. So most of the data from the card is skimmed, and the duplicate card is created. And what happens is the duplicate card can then be used to duplicate or cloned cards are used to make purchases and transactions. Another common method is the stolen card fraud. So due to negligence or whatever situation we are in, we have lost our card. Cards have then been misused. Over here, again, there is what is called the golden hour. There is the first 12 hours, the 24 hours. If you notify your bank immediately that your card has been lost, to deactivate it. There are these days a lot of measures that you can have where you log on into your net banking, and you can always keep your card. You can disable certain aspects of your card, like internet banking. I mean, in online purchases. You can set limits on your card. You can set limit on ATM withdrawals. So these are some very useful features that I would, encourage all of us to use. Again, what I said right at the beginning is, before they hack into your devices, they hack your mind. These criminals hack our minds. So, for example, either via social engineering, these phishing calls or SMSs or social media messages, they will trick you into providing credit card information. Another common methodology of fraud is takeover of accounts. So they will use, again, a phishing mail or malware or weak passwords to log on to your account, get access to your account, and then do the needful. There is something known as the bank identification number attack, whereby they use various combinations to guess valid credit cards. This is another interesting method used. And basically, in this, automation tools and AI help a lot in carrying out these kind of attacks. Basically, it is like password cracking, whereby you try various combinations till you crack the password. So here they try various combinations of card numbers till a working card number is found. Then there are, of course, the usual social media scams where the fraudsters will say that you have won this or won that, and you need to provide your card number. And the gullible victims or trusting victims will, share the details. Over here, again, it is the human nature of either a desperate situation, or greed. Now, moving on to SIM card frauds. So basically, the victim's phone is hijacked, and two-factor authentication can be bypassed. Yeah? Or your card account is reset, using a OTP. How did he get the OTP? The OTP was sent to a swapped SIM or to a cloned SIM. How to protect against these? How to protect against these scams and frauds is, first of all, be very vigilant. Do not click on links that are. How do you recognize? How do you recognize that a SMS message that has come on your phone, is it a legitimate one that has come from a bank that you are banking with, or is it come from a fraudster? So your banks will regularly send you messages which start with a particular code. Like if you are banking with State Bank of India or HDFC, their SMSs start with a particular set of words, and the fraudsters cannot duplicate that kind of. They cannot send messages starting with that kind of a code. There are scams where artificial intelligence is used to even, for example, there is an accountant who makes payments and releases payments, and he will get a phishing email from his boss's name saying that, okay, make this payment to this other account number, which would be a fraud. Now, to add on to that, he will also get a phone call from his boss's number with his boss's voice. Let me repeat this in case you're finding it, he will get a phone call from his boss's number in his boss's voice, instructing him that, I've sent a mail, and this is with the instructions to make an amount payment to this account number, and this is the amount. So this SIM card and phone frauds is whereby they can use something known as spoofing, whereby they can make a phone call using your boss's number. Okay. Now, that the technicalities of it is such that they can make a call from your boss's number, seemingly from your boss's number. It is called spoofing. Emails are sent in that way, and this is a voice call. But when you call back, always remember the trick over here. Now, if you want to call, the best thing to to get past this fraud is to call back on your boss's number, because they cannot receive calls on that number. They can make calls, spoofing calls, pretending to be your boss. Okay, that was one part. The second part was, how are they able to recreate your boss's voice? So the answer over there is artificial intelligence. What we just need is maybe a few minutes of voice samples of your boss, which may be available in public domain, or which they can get through social engineering by calling up your boss, okay, for some other reason. And then they will use that voice sample, and using artificial intelligence, they can create intelligence. They can create whatever they can make that voice say anything that they want. So this is the level of sophistication that we are talking about. Okay, I'm sure many of you have heard of two-factor authentication, multi-factor. It is called multi-factor authentication. So multi-factor authentication is having your password to get into your account. Apart from having your password to get into account, you need one more bit of information, confidential information, that is only known to you, or that only you have. So it can be your fingerprint, or which can be another token, which can be OTP from your phone. By the way, it has also been proven that the two-factor authentication, the OTP which comes to your phone, if your phone is hacked, so that is also compromised. That can be compromised. There are a few banks that give you something what is known as a hardware token. So companies like RSA security, cyber security companies, they have something what is called a hardware token. And when you are logging into your bank account, online bank account, you will, of course, first of all, enter your password, and then it will ask you to enter a code or a number that is generated on your hardware token. Your hardware token is like a small, earlier you would get, it's like a small dongle or a small pen drive. It looks like that, which has a screen on it, and when you press a button, it generates a number, random. The number, it's seemingly random, but it is not random. It is as per an algorithm which is pre-agreed or predestined with the security gateway. For retail banking, I do not know, I think, of any bank that offers this to retail customers like us. It's only for corporate banking that they give this. There could be one bank, I think, but I don't remember the name, which had this feature. I don't know if they still have this for retail banking. So I was told this is an interesting method to be safe from banking frauds. So I'm sure some of you would be knowing, but just for the benefit of the rest, I would narrate this simple story. So we have our company legal expert. He's a techno-legal expert, and he handles a lot of corporate cyber fraud cases, for which, yeah. So this is what he told us. So he's in Ahmedabad, and he said this is traditional, down to earth. This is a down to earth solution that people use. I have a bank account. Okay, so go to your bank, yeah, and you have a customer ID. You have your bank account. You have to just open one more account in the same bank. You can open one more account in the same bank, which they will allow you to have multiple. Now, this new account that you open will be a secure account. So how do you secure that account? On that account, you have no internet banking. I repeat, no internet banking, no mobile banking, no debit card, no ATM transactions, nothing. Only check withdrawals and check deposits. Now, your bigger money that you have, maybe 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, you keep it in this secure account. And the other account, you can have your internet banking, You can have your online transactions, your cards, and ATM banking. And as and when you need, so whenever you get any incoming transaction, you get a large amount of money in your internet banking enabled account. You just move that money to your, we would call it an offline account, and remain safe. That is just one of the, this kind of a, I mean, this coming from a technocrat or techno-legal expert who from the last 25 years has been, handling various fraud cases. And, now from the last 10, 15 years into cyber fraud cases. So there was something also that he said, and go ahead, I will recollect that. So under any case, while I'm saying this, okay, avoid sharing card information online, or use secure payment gateways and virtual credit card numbers. Okay, so what we have to remember is that the person will use always a sense of urgency. They will know our maybe some things that we are afraid of. So they will know and they will exploit those things. They will know our greed. Our weaknesses, what we like, what we would like to have. Yeah. Cryptocurrency fraud. So, of course, Bitcoin, we know where it started and where it is now. I mean, where the heights that it has reached, and the attractiveness, the gains that were there in with Bitcoin. So the spectacular rise of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies led to fraudsters using, people's vulnerabilities towards cryptocurrency. So what they do is the fake ICOs, or initial coin offering. This involved just creating fake cryptocurrency projects, and soliciting funds through, just as you have IPOs, initial public offering for shares. So you have ICO, and investors buy into this, and then these guys just disappear after making this investment. There are fake exchanges and fake wallets. So when we use cryptocurrency, it has to go through an exchange. You have to park your money, your currency in a wallet. So over here, fake wallet application can ask for keys, and then using these keys to make a fund transfer. Another famous scam is called rug pulls, where again it's similar to the first one of fake ICOs, where you just create a new cryptocurrency and float a new cryptocurrency, attract people to invest in that, buy that cryptocurrency, and then disappear. Crypto scams continued, giveaway scams, where they say we are giving you free currency if you put some funds in our account. Yeah, send 1 Bitcoin to receive 2 Bitcoin, and using fake accounts and bots. So safeguards against cryptocurrency scams. Yes, if something is the thumb rule is that if something is too good to be true, it's really not true. It's not true. Enable multi-factor authentication on all of your accounts. Ensure that these days, of course, banks make sure that you use multi-factor authentication. It is mandatory. Invest in well-researched and reputable projects. Yeah, and make sure that the emails that you receive are you read emails carefully. So we now move on to digital arrest scam. Um, this has, especially the last year, it had really taken off, and a number of uh, prominent citizens, senior citizens, um, even business men and women fell victim to this fraud. And of course, by now, even the government and state government and government have realized this, and they have put up, prominent advertisements in our dailies warning the people about that there is no such thing as digital arrest. If uh, if the authorities want to get you, they will come. They will come to your place of work, wherever they get you. They will come physically and they will arrest you. So at least so far, it is very clear the government of India authorities have declared there is no such thing as digital arrest. It does not exist. So these are the two prominent cases. If you have been reading, I must have come across this. So this was a lady was defrauded of 20 crores from December to March over a period of time. And yeah, they impersonated police officers. Yeah, so you can read about it more. But the other one, the really surprising scam that happened. The second one was that of Shri S.P. Oswal, the chairman of Vardhaman Group. So over here, the fraudsters were so sophisticated, and they convinced him that there is a case. It is a genuine case, and they orchestrated a fake online Supreme Court session with even one impersonator posing as Chief Justice Chandrachud. Okay, and they were able to get him to transfer 830,000 $8,30,000. I don't know if you can imagine what was their level of I mean, the level of sophistication in this act that was there that they carried out. They managed, uh, a leading businessman. I mean, this is not a small time person. He's the chairman of this group of industries. If they could entrap him to transfer this amount, you can imagine what lesser, smaller people, simpler people, what is going to happen to them. Anyway, they have so far recovered $6 lakh, and this is one of the largest recoveries. So, stepwise breakdown of a digital arrest scam. The initial contact comes as a, either via phone call or email or a message on social media. Yeah. And they generally always will spoof the number of either a person you trust or an organization that you trust or a government agency or the police or tax department, so that you take it seriously. It sounds convincing. Then there will be a threat that you are under investigation for something, unpaid taxes or something, and you're not sure. Now, I think many of you would have been getting these phone calls purportedly from DHL, and I used to get them a lot some time back. That there's a parcel that has come for you. It has been confiscated by customs, and because it is banned items, authorities will get in touch with you if you do not respond, and you can voluntarily get in touch with authorities and provide details and send all your details, Aadhaar and PAN on this. So I even contacted DHL, and they told me that, see, this is a scam, and thank you for bringing it to our notice. I was telling them, what are you doing? I was trying to, explain to them that understand what are the measures that they are taking. So they've said that they have taken measures, but there have also been cases where uh, if you go further down, the scam, they will actually have video calls with you, with even police officers threatening that they'll come and arrest you, and all kinds of nonsense. Uh, but now I think even this, so there were cases where like a lady who was had a genuine business, she would actually send parcels and deliver the goods, that she provided via parcels. So she really fell victim to this scam, and I don't know how many lakhs she paid before she realized that it was a scam. And it is so convincing, and the way that they walk you through, take you through the scam is that you will be placed under arrest, and you lock your room, you stay in your room, and you're not to move anywhere out, right? And they will ask you to install an app on your phone, and whereby they will get even full control of your phone and get even more, um, uh, start fraudulent transactions and transfer um, funds out of your bank. So there is no end. They create a sense of urgency, immediate action to avoid arrest, legal consequences. Yeah. And then they will demand a final settlement. After they have scared you enough and softened you, they will, and you are, agitated and scared out of your wits, they will again give you an exit option, saying that you pay this amount of money and you are off. So of course, they also will be keep doing follow up if you resist. So these are the red flags that one needs to recognize to avoid digital arrest scams. So there is a demand, yeah, for immediate payment. So one thing to note is that legitimate authorities will never demand, of course, unless someone is there. There are rogues everywhere. So even in the law authorities, there are rogues at times, and we have seen that yes, some payments are made. But otherwise, by and large, by and large, authorities do not demand immediate payment over the phone. Yeah, and if you have penalized, you have to make a payment. Yes, it is to the relevant government department or deposit in a bank, government account in a bank. Identity unverified. The caller refuses to give you verifiable credentials or contact details. Then they use threatening language. Yeah, threatening language in the sense they will use fear tactics, aggressive tones, and try to intimidate you. And again, the payment methods will be like the moment someone asks you for payment in cryptocurrency, there's something fishy about it. Or direct money transfer using Western Union or any of these uh, international payment platforms. So the first step you do is when you receive such a call is to verify the caller. Actually, call up the authorities and verify. If they say they are from the enforcement directorate, you can call up the enforcement directorate. They say that they are from the income tax, you can call up the income tax department and verify that so and so person has called me from your department. Never share personal information. Refuse. This is a very important thing. Always refuse remote access. People will ask you that they will ask you go to this site, download this app and install this app because we need to help you get out of the situation. We need to check that your phone has no incriminatory material. So refuse remote access. Yeah, report the scam as soon as possible, and always keep monitor government websites uh, to make sure that you know what's happening. Yeah. So there are many factors that led to the growth of cyber frauds and cyber scams in the last 5 years, with with the COVID pandemic, remote work, phishing attacks, uh, a lot of these, and then of course recently with artificial intelligence uh, and the changing political climate, the threat landscape has led to a change in the cyber security. What do you would say, the crime scenario? As I said, social engineering. Again, I would like to repeat as before a threat actor or a bad actor, or before a hacker hacks your device, he first hacks your mind. So impersonation, pretexting, yeah, these are the social engineering attacks that are used. See, wishing or voice phishing has drastically changed. Earlier, it was just a person claiming to be from a bank that would call you, but now with artificial intelligence, they can impersonate your friend or your boss or your colleague from your company. Can you imagine to what level voice phishing has reached with the help of artificial intelligence? Farming is another uh, tactic, a serious tactic that is used to redirect users. Now, I know that I go to google.com or I go to amazon.com or netflix.com. What they do is they can poison the DNS records uh, and um, and redirect you to a fake. Now, see the way that you see there are various ways to protect yourself from these. When you visit a website, there is something known as if you on the browser, you go on the browser on the left hand side. Uh, if you see the URL starts with HTTPS, next to that there is a certificate. There is a certificate, which if it is HDFC Bank or it is any legitimate organization, the certificate gives you a guarantee that it is a legal authorized site. Banks themselves, banks and other organizations, financial institutions and commercial platforms, online commercial platforms, they ensure that they use something known as DNS security to make sure that these kind of attacks do not happen. But smaller organizations, smaller websites, they may not have these kind of protections in place. So, one of the factors that people need to understand is organizations need to understand is that a large amount, a large percentage, a proportion of attacks and breaches occur because of insider involvement. Insider involvement can be either unintentional by mistake. The person is not well trained and has clicked on a link and on a URL, and because of that, his email got compromised or he downloaded something. And also, see, these days, for an attack to be successful, two or three things have to be successful. Two or three layers of security need to be breached. And for example, you are a user in a company, you have been given a laptop or a desktop of the company to work on, and you have been, by either by social engineering or by something, you have been convinced to click on a link, on a URL, or download. Okay, now fine, you were not that aware. There was a lack of awareness which caused you to download that file. However, if your laptop, a company issued laptop or desktop, was properly protected using antivirus, anti-malware, which ensures that, in the first place, the URL, if it is not all antiviruses, we call them endpoint. Now, these days, it is not only antiviruses that they guard against, they also act as a firewall. They will prevent you from going to unauthorized websites or unsafe websites whose web reputation is lower. They will detect automatically if, even if it is not, these days there are polymorphic malware which do not have virus codes in them. So a traditional antivirus may not detect it as a virus, but they have other codes which are stealth codes, which will set up a communication with a remote machine and steal your information and send your information, your key clicks. So there are a lot of things that are what we call antivirus has to do these days. It has to ensure that it does something known as behavioral monitoring and predictive machine learning. These two terms, like for example, ransomware. Ransomware, what happens is that all your data on your hard disk is encrypted, and then the key to get the key to decrypt your data back and get it usable, you have to pay some money. So these days, if you take a good antivirus software, which is supposed to do its job, is that the moment the moment a ransomware like code starts to initiate, it will terminate that process. It will kill that process. So it is supposed to do many things rather than just the traditional anti-malware work that our traditional antiviruses have been done. So what I'm trying to say is that, let's assume even if an unaware user has clicked on a URL or downloaded a file, okay, the antivirus, if it was there properly configured and doing its job, it would prevent that kind of a download. It would abort that kind of navigation to a malicious URL, and it would abort any process that tries to start start encrypting your data. Phishing, I've used this term a lot since the beginning of this seminar, and basically it is either someone impersonating a bad actor or a hacker impersonating a law enforcement or your corporate authority, using either email or using voice or using SMSs. So this is basically the operation of how a phishing mail works like. A phishing operation works like. First, you send a convincing mail, a well-crafted mail to the target. The target, depending on how the mail has been crafted, what information has been put in, and what emotions have been exploited, whether it is greed or guilt or fear. And the victim is convinced, clicks on the phishing link, visits the fake website. Yeah. And then once he goes to the fake website and tries to log in, it could be, so the phishing mail could be claiming to be from your banker, from whatever XYZ bank that you do your banking with. And they will have set up a fake website, and you go to you fall victim, you go to the fake website and you try to log in. And when you try to log in, you have given actually your ID and your password, and then which they will immediately use to go onto log onto your original website, and then they will again call you and ask you for a OTP, and then you send the OTP, and then they transfer. So that is how the attack flow works. Yeah. So the type of phishing, there are various phishings. When we say spear phishing is targeting certain type of industries. Whaling is when a phishing attack is targeted to or focused on the C-level executives. Yeah. Of course, and both of these categories, spear phishing and whaling, they come under email phishing. And there is voice phishing, which is called vishing, and then there is, of course, SMS phishing, which is sending fake and false messages on your phone. So this, how does phishing work? There are a number of tools. There are some emails which are like, when you just open you see the email, you know that it is a fake email. So those are like this spray and pray approach, which they send 10,000 emails to 10,000 people, and maybe out of that, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 might, if at all, fall victim to those or be convinced by those. So here, this is a few examples of how to spot a phishing mail. Urgency, a sense of urgency and loss. Yeah, if you do not want your email account to be terminated, then notice the sender. Look at the sender's ID. What happens is, apart from looking at the sender's email ID, the email ID could be exactly the same. There are two categories. One is that an I could be replaced with a 1, they slightly misspell it. But there could also be a case that the email ID is exactly the same. So over here, you will need to look at the whole email header. You need to look at the full email header, and that's when you realize that something is fishy. And the URL that is generally there, which they would put in this, the URL will be suspicious. It might look like a Netflix, but if you move your cursor over it, you will know that it is not Netflix. It is something else. There is something known as Google poisoning, and all of us, they say Google is your friend. So if you need to search for anything, research anything, you want to buy something, or source for something, you go and search in Google, and so there's something known as SEO, black hat SEO, where they have put their own websites, fake websites, the top of search results. So there was a person in Mumbai who wanted to buy alcohol online. They wanted to know how could they get alcohol online, which are the shops that will have home delivery. So that person searched for, did a Google search, and they got something, and they ended up paying, I don't know, 60,000 rupees. The people convinced her that they're going to deliver alcohol to the home, to the residence, and they got the details, and that person ended up losing 60,000 rupees when they just wanted to spend like 5 or 6,000. So common defenses against attacks is keeping your software and personal systems always up to date. Ensure their patches, updates are applied. Antivirus software, it is very important. I know it's for your personal computers. Always ensure that you have for corporate endpoints, laptops, and desktops. The companies ensure that it is there, but it is sometimes many a time that for our personal home laptops that we neglect. Use strong passwords. There are password websites where which allow you to check the strength of your password. And please use those online utilities to ensure that you have strong passwords, or use passphrases. Passphrases are basically a set of words which is easy for you to remember. Uh, for example, I can make up a whole sentence, I love Udaipur, and over there I can replace certain, the letter A with special character, the letter O with zero, the letter, and put some numbers. And so it is easy for me to remember, I love Udaipur. And I will also, the only thing I need to remember is where I have changed the alphabets for special characters. The Wi-Fi, so using Wi-Fi, again, we might find a free Wi-Fi. So avoid the temptation to use free Wi-Fi. Anyway, in our countries these days, it's not a big challenge because data is cheap. Uh, Thanks to the competition among the telcos, we have reasonably priced, data, and everybody has enough of data. So these are the best practices to avoid phishing. There are some videos, but I think we are short on time. Otherwise, I would have played those videos. Let's see how much of time we have, and we still have a lot of slides to go through. This is an interesting slide. The way it is presented will help you remember. So just as you have certain things that you never share your toothbrush, you never share lip balm. So the same way you never share your OTP and CVV and PIN numbers. Securing your laptop, we have mentioned some of these earlier. Always have a password protected screensaver. Always lock your desktop. Encrypt your hard disk. Microsoft has a free encryption, hard disk encryption software known as Microsoft BitLocker, and you can use that to encrypt your hard disk, so that if ever your laptop is stolen, the whoever steals your laptop, he will, at least the confidential and sensitive information that is there on your laptop will never fall into wrong hands, because at times, many a times, it is the information on your laptop that is more valuable than the laptop, and that information falling into wrong hands or into the hands of of your competitors, yeah, in case of business secrets, yeah, is very, very much more valuable than your laptop. So you would rather that your laptop be destroyed immediately, or your hard disk be useless. There are something known as remote wipe. So many other value-added products are there from Symantec, and many of these companies which have remote wipe capabilities, where if your mobile is stolen, your laptop is stolen, uh, all the data will be wiped out immediately. As soon as it's connected to the net, it'll be wiped out. So a few instructions for making a password. So unique, make it unique, and you can use pass phrases as I had mentioned, like these interesting phrases of any phrase of your choice that is easier for you to remember. It is always recommended to change your password periodically. That is one of the mistakes that people make, is that they do not change the passwords periodically. The only passwords that we are forced to change periodically are the bank net banking passwords, where the banks force us to change for every 45 days or 90 days. This is the password safety chakra. Never share, of course, some very basic things. Never share your password, change that periodically. Use two-factor authentications, either two-factor or multi-factor authentication. Make them unique. Avoid saving passwords in browsers. Do not write them down on a piece of paper and stick it on a yellow note or whatever. and do not include personal details. Always remember that anything can change in the blink of an eye. So think before you click. So again, these are some videos, but I would like to actually move on to and talk something about mobile security, mobile device security precautions. Okay. So I'm not sure if how many of us actually back up our phones. So of course, Android phones, all your contacts and phone numbers, you can save them in Google itself, in the Google Cloud. Similarly, all the, whatever photos or videos or critical documents that have on your phone, you can keep them in Google Drive. So um, that's the best practice. Keep them in cloud storage. Whenever you want to use any application or need an application, make sure that they are reputed. There are ratings even in Google Play Store. Um, I don't know how prevalent is the last threat, which is called juice jacking, wherein there used to be fake charging stations. But after you plug in the other end of the charging cable, much as you get your charge, it is also pulling information from your phone. Another common mistake people make is using the same password for every account, for multiple accounts. So there was a 60 in 2021, there was a 60% password reuse rate. So this was a cause for a lot of breaches. I mean, one of your account is breached, and they just have to. It becomes that much more easier for the hacker. Another see these days we spend if we spend 3 hours or 4 hours uh, with our laptops, you know, working with our laptops 4 hours or 5 hours a day. Okay. But with our mobiles, we are, I think, till we go to bed, we are with our mobiles. And from the time we get up till the time, so maybe 12 hours or 16 hours, we are with our mobiles. And we do everything on our mobiles, right from internet banking to watching movies, Netflix. So a person getting control of our mobile will gets ringside view of our lives. They know us more than many of our family members know us. They will get all details, A to Z details about us, information about us that even our family members will not be knowing of. So it is critical to ensure that you have, antivirus software also installed on your mobile, which I think people do not think of. Yeah. There's something known as remote tracking. You can switch on remote tracking. Both Android and Apple have, these utilities. Find My iPhone and Find My Device. Yeah, to know the last known location makes it that much more easier to get back your phone. Lastly, do not root your Android or jailbreak your iPhone because it breaks a lot of security features on your phone, making it vulnerable. Encrypt all data stored on your laptop, on your phone, and avoid applications like TikTok. As I had to name this. And of course, there are other applications like, yeah. So these ones allow the Chinese companies to gather information. And of course, a lot of all companies do gather information about your habits, the way you use the apps and your preferences. But this has been proven to be a national threat. So on social media, always remember that any and all information. So there are people who like to share a lot on social media, and always remember that all the information that you post on social media can be used against you. You're in a board meeting, or after a board meeting, you have taken a selfie, and mistakenly whatever is written behind you on the board, that is there on the picture that you posted. Whenever you are away from home for extended periods, your location. This is a slide. If um, how many people have heard of Jamtara? So Jamtara is considered as the cybercrime capital of India. 60% of all cyber crimes in India originate from Jamtara and surrounding locations. And of course, with police action, the activity has got dispersed to the surrounding villages. But they have learned of ways how to outsmart the cyber security authorities. So it's, as I said, it is a constant struggle. So there is a line. If there is one important line in Jamtara, uh, can anyone tell me that line? It's a very famous byline. Anybody wants to volunteer? You put it in chat. That line is सबका number आएगा. सबका number आएगा. So it is not a matter of whether you are going to be hacked or not. It's just a matter of when. Eventually, there will be an attempt to steal your information, to compromise your mobile phone, to break into your corporate security, steal information. It's not a matter of whether it will happen or no. It is a matter of when. And when it happens, you will need to be prepared. It is better if you are prepared and informed in advance, that you have taken all the precautions. And even in spite you have taken all the precautions and the things happen, then this is what you do. You go over here to this how do you report cybercrime? So you go to the cybercrime.gov.in, or you call up the cybercrime helpline 1930. So the portal is very simple and very distinct. Crimes against women and children, financial fraud, other cybercrime. Regarding DPDP or digital privacy, any information, personal information in digital form, any personal information in digital form is considered comes under the purview of the DPDP Act of India, and any organization that it's proven that it has personal data. A principle is any person like you or me. If an organization is found that because of negligence and lack of security measures, digital data regarding to a digital private data related to a person has been leaked into the public domain and misused. Okay, so the liability is from 50 crores to 250 crores. So GDPR, of course, is very stiff, and in case an organization, uh, an Indian entity or organization is doing business with European organizations, it is subject to GDPR, and fines can range up to 20 million euros or 4% of your annual turnover. In DPDP, as per DPDP Act of India, you have around the fines of 250 crores. All digital evidence, as per law, we are supposed to preserve all digital evidence, logs, emails, and transaction details. And something known as the chain of custody. This has to be maintained to prove before a court of law that none of the data has been manipulated or changed uh, when presented to court from the time of collection till the time of presentation to court. I think digital privacy, I have not included much about digital privacy because I think we have run out of time. So I would just like to leave you with four important questions that you can use to reflect and add value to whatever you do at your organization. The first thing is, what is your organization's recovery point objective and recovery time objective? These are very crucial, especially if you are in operations or you are responsible for the operations of your organization, making sure that all systems in your organization continues working, that your business runs. So in case there is a disaster, uh, be it fire or be it any kind of calamity, or it could be a ransomware attack, at what point of data, how much of data are you willing to lose and continue with? So this is very simple. It's like saying that if you're taking a backup of your data every day or every hour, let's say every day. So some companies are okay with saying that the backup which we had taken last night, that is okay for us to resume business. If today at 12 o'clock our systems went offline because of some disaster, today at 12 o'clock afternoon, and we have resumed uh, operations by 6 o'clock in the evening. But the data that we have from today morning till today 12 o'clock afternoon is lost. But we have data up to yesterday. So that is the recovery point objective. Is it okay if you have 1 day old data, or you are okay with only 1 hour old data, or losing only data of 1 hour? And the recovery time objective. Recovery time objective is very crucial for companies having online services like banks or commercial platforms. That is the time that they take to get back to business. So for them, they can hardly tolerate a few hours of downtime. So it is, if you are in that position of in your organization where you are responsible for operations, it is important that you understand what is your recovery point objective and your recovery time objective. And then how often do you back up your data? How often do you verify your backups? Because even if most of the organizations back up their data, it was found that only 40 to 60% of the organization that back up the data, they actually do a verification of the data, which means they restore the data and test and check the data that it is usable. And the lastly is, have you analyzed the cost of your data loss or a ransomware outage or a distributed denial of service outage? A DDoS attack is it's simple. It's like they bombard your website. If you are doing business online, if you're a commercial website, uh, the the hackers will just bombard your website with requests in such a way that your website becomes unresponsive to legitimate users like you or me. When we try to access the website, it is inaccessible, or it's too slow. So I think that's it from me. And thank you very much. If there are any questions, we can quickly handle them because, yeah, another 5 minutes. So thank you so much. Akshata, over to you.
Yes, sir. So I request all the participants to ask the question if they are having any kind of doubt. So sir is free here to clear all the doubts which everyone, if anyone is having. So I request everyone to get anyone who's having a question can get unmute or put their question in the chat box. So sir will be answering their questions.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, for India, means for data center, which are the legal means there is laws for data center or for this which laws we are following. You are muted, sir.
Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah. So for data centers, it is very clearly mentioned. There is, Ministry of IT, Ministry of Electronics and IT. They have guidelines. I can provide that. Yeah. So, for example, you've heard of Amazon Web Services, AWS, Azure. There is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI. All of these have very huge data centers in India and various parts of India, and they are regulated. Their data centers, the way it is run, the framework are regulated by. They have international standards, but the government of India also has their own standards. As I said, the Ministry of Electronics and IT. So I can share with Vaibhavi, sorry, with Akshata.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Any more question that anyone has?
Yeah, my question, Dominic. Tell me one thing. Let's say a company has successfully undergone the VAPT testing, vulnerability and patch testing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To what extent, on a scale of 1 to 100, can we say that the cyber security of the company is robust? They
Yes.
okay, just passing this test, VAPT.
Okay. So, sir, I'll tell you one thing. Thank you, sir. That's a very relevant question. So, I'll tell you of insurance company. I will not take the name. There's an insurance company, good insurance company, and recently in February, they had done a VAPT test, and since we are providing some support, some kind of services to this company, they shared the report with us. And there are certain things which an IT professional, when he sees the findings, that you will laugh. You will burst out laughing because an an insurance company governed by IRDA regulations, just strict. They had some things in place which, of course, I cannot reveal, but some glaring vulnerabilities. Now, this company has been in operation in India for the last at least more than, as far as I know, around between 6 to 8 years in operation in India. And they are mandated to have VAPT tests regularly, if not quarterly, at least half yearly. So they would have undergone at least 10 VAPT exercises. And after doing a VAPT exercise, this is, I think, shared with the authorities, and the mitigation is also shared with the authorities. So my answer to you, sir, is that it depends on the people in the organization, how closely they monitor. See, I might do a VAPT test, and then I'm given a report by the organization who's carrying out the VAPT on the mitigation, the remedial measures that need to be taken, whether it is patching of all the operating systems, changing the policies on the firewall, making all this. Now I will do that. Okay, if I'm given it and I've given a timeline by March end, I put everything is okay. But then life goes on, and more new services, new applications are procured by my organization. New servers come in, new branches open up. Okay, and then I do not have a foolproof process. I have a process, but not a foolproof process to ensure that all the new applications that are come into my organization, the new servers, devices, new devices that come, that they are also not, hardened and patched in time. So that's where things fall apart. So that's the reason. So my answer to you will be that it depends on how strong are my internal processes.
Okay,
How
I
strong is my
agree.
internal
I got your point fully, which means that the process of managing change
change?
is strong, that has to
Yes,
be very
absolutely.
and then when you manage it, when you introduce a new application or software or something, a complete risk assessment has to be done in that case. About
Exactly.
risk mitigation and all.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happens is many reputed organizations, they invest in continuous audit and continuous vulnerability assessment. So they have vulnerability assessment. They do what is known as purple teaming. They have red team and they have blue team. Red team is supposed to simulate attacks continuously at regular intervals, find out what are the vulnerabilities, of course, without disrupting business. They are supposed to find vulnerabilities. Blue team is supposed to always keep on defending, keeping a vigil and patching up vulnerabilities. So the combination of this is called purple team.
Okay.
Rather than depending upon a VAPT, which happens once in a quarter, they are doing continuous VA and continuous VA and continuous internal audits. And there are tools for that. It is automated. So the moment I buy a server, and I have a set of processes that I have to follow to make the server acceptable, plug it into the network. After that, there is a policy that comes that gets the profile that gets applied to the server, and the server is hardened. So all the unwanted services are closed, unwanted ports are closed, patches are applied to the operating system. There's a golden image of the operating system that is applied.
How do you explain configuration management versus hardening to
Yes.
a lay person? Some people don't get this concept. So what is have you created some metaphor or something, data hardening and configuration management, how to really drive home this point,
So it's simple, sir. It is like this. It is that hardening is a part of configuration management. So when we say configuration management, configuration management is a control in an organization where and configuration management is done using tools again. So I say that I have 200 Windows servers, I have 100 Linux servers. All of these, the configuration has to be as per this. If it is an application, if it is a web-facing application, it is a web application. If it is a database server, if it is a mail server, this is how it is supposed to be configured. This is a profile. This is a template, configuration template that is there. It has to be applied by default. If it is not applied, it is non-compliant.
Right. And hardening would.
Hardening is, I'll tell you. So hardening is basically closing all the unwanted services. For example, FTP service can be misused. Okay. So simply, a simple analogy is like my house. I have my compound. I can have just a compound with a grass, with bushes and shrubs around the boundary. But I can have a 10 feet concrete wall surrounding my house. I can have that topped with electrical fencing, live electric wires. I can have steel gates. I can have CCTV monitoring. I can have armed guards. So as opposed to I have just have my house, which has surrounded by bushes or a small wooden fence of 1 meter. So my house, when it is surrounded by a concrete wall of 10 feet, it is more hardened. The security is more hardened. So the analogy on a Windows machine is unwanted services, unnecessary, unessential services like FTP and all. We just shut down those services. The ports, unused ports. There are 65,000 ports, in networking. So, but we are using maybe 20 or 30 ports. You only keep those 20, 30 ports open, and the rest are all closed. Close the unwanted windows.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
That is hardening.
Hardening, correct, correct. Because this is one concept which, and secure system engineering is also related to this in many ways, I think.
Yes. So secure system engineering is as far as software. Even when during the building of software, making sure that secure best practices are used. The code itself is secure coding practices are followed.
Right. Question is, secure system engineering is supposed to be applicable for the entire life cycle, not only for engineering.
Absolutely.
So, right, life cycle, where would that end finally?
From the time you decommission the system and you scrap the system.
Okay, till
That is the
then.
life.
Okay. So even then, even while scrapping, you have to follow the general.
Yes, absolutely. So actually, see, what's for software, it is okay. It's more straightforward. For hardware, you have to actually follow, get a certified destructor, where they certify that your media, hard disk or whatever magnetic media is destroyed in such a way that data cannot be recovered, and they give you a certificate. Third party, so there are professional third party providers.
Great, Sam. Great. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And one more question, which is related to audits. These days there is a lot of demand from companies. They say that cyber security audits, like for example 27001 and all, they should not be done in physical mode. I mean, we should be avoided. What is your take on that? The people are not willing to really, they say, "Ki, what do you want to see inside our system? Yeah, you can audit it from remote places, no? What answer do you give to these kind of people?
So it depends.
See, there are companies which operate from a single office and from a kind of cloud service, and they have offices they have business all over the world. Then they say, why do you want to come and audit us? I have a single office. All my data is on cloud. All my people work from hundreds of locations throughout the world. Just look at my security and my, look at my, you audit everything, but why do you want to come here and audit?
This is absolutely a very, very valid point, sir. And if a hacker can destroy our lives remotely, so obviously, I mean, you can do a lot of things remotely. As long as your auditing methodology is sound, your auditing principles are sound, you have evidence. I mean, if you're doing an audit 9001 or 27001, you are checking the processes. They explain to you their processes. They give you evidence regarding the process. Then you want to see how the process is working. So obviously, if they have 100 offices globally, and you are interviewing the right amount of the right people, getting the right evidence, you don't have to travel to those 100 places. Maybe one place, one or two places, and so that you get an idea of what's actually happening. So I agree with you that yes.
Yeah, because most of the companies who want to go for advanced certifications and all, they say we don't want to afford the cost of, basically travel to different locations and all. You do XYZ is doing it from remote, you also do it from remote.
Yes,
But then they start quoting other certifying bodies and all. And then देखो उन लोगों ने remote से किया है. If you can get it done on remote, we are with you. Otherwise, we are not with you. So anyway, I think Dr. Kataria has raised his hand. I think we could.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharma sir. Lot of questions. First of all, compliment Dominic sir. We have covered almost every aspect of the information and data and security and so many angles you have covered it. Really, I salute you.
Thank
It
you,
was
sir. Thank you. Thank
good
you. It's a
experience
privilege
sharing.
being, it is an honor being able
Yeah,
to be given
welcome,
this
welcome.
platform, sir. I thank you, sir.
Now I have a few questions which is cropping in my mind
Yes.
related to this. Of course, Sharma ji has already covered some of my questions, which I had. Now, my first question is using the external cloud data center, how safe it is. So, because even if you see a lot of information today, you are taking a loan from the bank, and next day you start getting bombardment of messages from other banks that you need a loan.
Yes.
So somewhere the data is being leaked. Then
Yes.
only other banks are. First question is this. Second question is about this Sharma ji has told remote audit. As far as ISO is concerned, so far they are not permitting remote audit. During the COVID, they had a special requirement where ICT audit was allowed. But now I don't think there is any is there that it can be done. Because anyway, when you are doing ISO 27000, at least you have to cover it physically 27001 because it has many protocols to be followed, which is applicable to the organization. So can you put a little light on these two aspects, sir?
Yes. So, okay, on the first one, the first question was regarding cloud security in the cloud. So now again over here there are two aspects. Your company records your information, whatever is there on cloud, that is secure. That is secure, available, and confidential and available. But as you have said that after you get some services from the bank or a loan, your detail, you suddenly start getting calls, unsolicited calls. So here there are two things. Our great friend Google, Google on our phone is listening to everything that we talk about. So it may not be the bank that has leaked out your information to the sellers. It could be it could be somewhere else. We know that Google listens, but I cannot claim that Google could have been taking. Now, there is another aspect that employees in the bank, yes, this is true. Employees in the bank can also sell your information to marketers. Because when I asked one of these, so there's a joke that when the lady Sunita Williams, there is a meme going around that when Sunita Williams landed back from space, the first phone call that she got was from Bajaj Finance, announcing to her that she is pre-qualified for a free loan. So that was a joke. But I mean, what people are hoping is that with the DPDP Act being enforced in the near future, these people can be taken to court. The banks who are giving you unsolicited calls, they can be taken to court, and that should stop. But in terms of data being leaked out, it is via bank employees, it is via social media, it is so our numbers and details are already there in the public domain, and it is just being circulated among various people. The second thing, the second thing is about the audits being done remotely. So as you rightly mentioned that there are some things, some protocols that have been established, of course, which I'm not very much aware of. Technically, what I can say is that a lot of audits and forensics can be done remotely, technically, in terms of information gathering. But there could be protocols which I think the certifying bodies have to maybe take a decision on that, establishing or changing the framework, saying that some things can be done remotely. So for that, I would not be, in that much of a position to take a stand on that. to give an opinion on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So I think even ICS will have to really, Jazens का जो whatever, in case there are certain technical holds, because increasingly, as Mr. Dominic will agree, people are even their MRMs and all when they are doing it remotely, internal audits they are doing remotely. I mean, they don't travel to various. So now they are insisting that even the CB audits should be done remotely. I mean, eventually some kind of a midway has to be evolved, considering that. ठीक है, sir. So anyway, that my questions, I think, Dominic's the one. See the 93 controls basically. Is it necessary for a company to implement all 93 controls, not for the sake of 27,001? We normally tell companies that if you want to improve your cyber security, you at least these 93 controls, even if you don't go for ISO certification, start implementing these controls, one by one.
Yes.
Right? Now,
And,
ISO does not mandate all 93 controls. But in a normal Indian company, which controls can be generally, because 93 out of 93, all companies need not include.
correct.
So,
Exactly.
in your experience, which are the controls which a company can easily, say, okay, yeah, this is an acceptable risk, and I need not really, even document this control, basically.
I think Professor Sharma Sahab,
Huh, sir.
I think we'll have another webinar on this, and we'll cover that one, because it is all depends upon the risk analysis and opportunity they will cover, and certain areas which they have to identify. All the 93 are not important to have to be covered, which is affecting them. So those controls have to be covered.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
I
we'll
get
have
your point. Yeah, I
another,
agree. I
yeah,
agree. We'll
we'll
have
have another webinar on this,
yeah.
because
Hey,
time is running out.
I'm not talking of certification. I'm only talking general cyber security. That 93 controls is a good takeoff point for all companies, even if they don't go for
Yeah.
ISO.
No, those are generic one. So you have to apply it for the specific for a specific company, specific organization. What is their services?
So I'll just very quickly, I'll just give one, like, for example, something like secure coding, control 8.28. So if I'm not doing software development, I am just only buying software from other companies, I do not need to have secure coding. So it depends on, as Dr. Kataria has said, it depends on organization's business, you know.
Great, sir. Great. Only ठीक है. Thank you so much.
Even recently we did audit for IMS, Integrated Management System, Quality, Safety and Environment. And in safety, we asked for 45,000. So regarding this IT, there was nothing was there, no risk was covered. Where it is quite a big organization, everything is digitalized. Even the machines are run on the system with the softwares. So we told you have to also cover, because it may affect the human health, the personnel who are working there. So indirectly, that's also applicable there. But most of the company, they don't cover that the aspects. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I
Thank you
think
so
it is
much.
1 o'clock already, and Dominic had to leave actually.
Yes, yes.
Dominic has overstayed his time, perhaps. We made him overstay. Thank you,
No
Dominic.
worries, sir. No worries. No worries.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the section as well, sir. Sir, I request you to stop the sharing which you have provided.
I'll stop the sharing. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
our next section will be on 29th of March. The topic will be of succession planning, which will be covered by Dr. Kishore Kumar Pahuja.
Dr. Kataria has raised his hand. I think he wants to.
So, as per the previous slide issue, so this is our slide. So, our next section, the upcoming section will be on 29th of March 2025. The topic will be succession planning, which will be taken by Dr. Kishore Kumar Pahuja. He will be conducting the subtopics like introduction to family succession planning, identifying the family and the business goal, structuring the succession plan, financial consideration in the succession planning, followed up with a question and answer section. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS, and OSHAs, excellence in education management. ISO has been made easy in various languages like Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above books, please contact Ms. Sushma Kindalkar on the above initials provided. Feedback form requesting all the participants to fill the feedback form on the below website. Your feedbacks are valuable to us. Thank you for being a great participant in the webinar. Thank you, everyone.